Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
And Gaynor.
Okay, a bit of Britain now.
Yeah.
We do a lot of different things around the world, so we found this, come across this one. I went to Britain's roughest estate and it was shocking.
Yeah, I think everybody thinks we just have like green fields. And
Yeah, I think everyone thinks we live in a little village and you know, we all know each other.
Little pub with a red telephone box.
Don't know where this is. I know some rough estates.
Yeah.
I definitely know some of them. Obviously travelling around the country going to the football matches, football grounds are usually in bad estates.
Yeah.
So it's be interesting to see where this is. We probably know it.
To see what it's like.
We'll know the area for sure. Yeah. You know if it's one of the worst estates, but let's get into it. I went to Britain's roughest estate and it was shocking.
Welcome to UK Explored, where we visit the areas that you probably shouldn't. For this video, that couldn't be more true, as we took a look around one of the most dangerous towns in the UK, and that's Walsall. Walsall is a market town in the West Midlands. It's about 10 miles north of the centre of Birmingham. And like a lot of the Black Country, it's showing serious signs of post-industrial urban decay. According to crimerate.co.uk, Walsall has a crime rate of 152, which is worse than Birmingham, believe it or not, and more than double the UK average.
Wow.
So it's pretty bad. Walsall is also struggling with poverty, being ranked as the 25th most deprived area in the whole of the country. For this video, I took a walk around two of the most dangerous areas in Walsall, and those are Blakenall Heath.
I was just going to go back there a little bit because it's
A walk around two of the most dangerous areas in Walsall.
We know them areas quite well, don't we?
Yeah.
I spend time in Wednesbury for the football.
Yeah.
Sometimes Wolverhampton, obviously we know.
Yeah.
Little Aston. So we know some of these places quite well.
When we drive through them though, they're not that bad, are they?
Some of the pubs I've been to in like Wednesbury,
Yeah.
you're like, you know, this at night this could get a little bit tasty.
Yeah.
And Wolverhampton as well. But some of Wolverhampton's nice as well.
Yeah.
Walsall, and those are Blakenall Heath and Calmore and Palfrey.
I've heard of those.
Starting in Blakenall, this is the main shopping district. Just a few letters missing there. And just behind this area is a street called Dawson Street. Now, the national media has recently described Dawson Street and the surrounding area as Britain's roughest estate, where knife-wielding yobs run wild, among other things. And the local media feel the same as well, calling it a hellhole. And honestly, it scared me. The moment I walked into Dawson Street and filmed the street sign, a woman told me to F off, and then she started making a call on her phone, and I heard her say, "They're filming right now, come and see." I didn't want to find out who she was calling,
No, get out of
so I
there.
made a quick exit, and I didn't get as much footage from that street as I would have liked. But as you saw, there are boarded up houses, there's junk everywhere, and it probably is as bad as the media is making out. Here is some footage from the surrounding area, which doesn't get
Kids
much
Park.
better.
Why is all
Yes,
kids'
that was a
toys?
flat rat in the kids' park, and there have obviously been several fire pits burning at night. There are around 400 crimes reported every month just in Blakenall alone, most of which are violent offences and antisocial behaviour. I googled the latest news feed for the area, and it was nothing short of shocking. There are stories about the general antisocial behaviour there, people being shot at, children tearing up pigeons and throwing them into the chippy. Yep, and a young kid was blinded after being stabbed last year. So, wow, is all I can really say to that. Blakenall is certainly one of the most dangerous estates in the country on paper, and off paper too. There's quite a mix of housing across the whole of Blakenall. Obviously you can get some bargains, especially if you want a fixer-upper, but the average price across the ward last year was in the 168,000 range. My parting thoughts on Blakenall is that it felt dangerous, it smelt dangerous, and I was happy to move on to the next area.
That looks a proper shithole, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Hey.
But I always wonder why. How does it get so bad?
Do you know what it is? Poverty plays a big part in it. And I always we grew up on a council estate like that. Do you know, it's not far different from that. But my parents were always house proud, and yours were too.
And that's what I'm going to say.
And we always made sure our grass was always cut properly.
Yeah.
And the outside of the houses always looked nice and tidy. The windows were always clean.
Yeah.
The curtains were always tidy and open, and you know, and looked, the house always looked okay.
Yeah.
You know, for what we had.
Clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you look at some of them there, you think you don't deserve to be in there.
Yeah.
You should be homeless.
Yeah. I don't understand how it can get that bad.
No.
Because working class people are house proud.
Yeah.
And the it's like a village to raise the children. So if you were doing something naughty,
That's changed now.
Your
Don't work
neighbour
like
would
that.
say, "Hey, you know."
No, if I did something naughty when I grew up, I got beat up by the first adult that was around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they go and tell my parents, and I get beat up again.
Yeah.
You know, but now it doesn't work like that.
No,
now.
I know.
That police in the neighbourhood doesn't work anymore.
No, it's a shame.
Everyone's just shit scared. But you got little kids, he said, pulling pigeons apart and throwing them into the chippy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Another of the most dangerous areas in Walsall is Calmore and Palfrey, which are two adjoining areas that are often grouped in
I've heard
stats.
these, both of them.
Things have gotten so bad across these areas this year that there have been news reports describing how many of the residents live in fear, and that the Home Office has funded an extra £1 million to be spent on policing the area. Demographically, Calmore and Palfrey are very different from Blakenall. Blakenall is a predominantly white area, while this area is predominantly an Asian area. Walking around, it's hard to ignore just how much litter there is everywhere, and there is obviously a very serious fly tipping problem. It's similar to what I've seen in some of the other West Midlands areas we've covered, like Smethwick and parts of Wolverhampton, and it also reminded me of areas in Slough. It feels like if you poke your head around any bush, corner or wall, you're just going to see loads of junk dumped there.
Outside seating.
And the more
I was going to say that's one thing that really, really irritates me when people bring the couch from inside outside and sit outside. Like, just get a garden chair.
I don't get like the litter and stuff like that. I mean, I know these certain communities where we used to live where they have litter patrol and people go around and give up their own time and, you know, pick up all the litter and make it look a little bit better than what it should be. But here, look at that. There's no care for anything there. It's a shithole.
And then they wonder why they get rats.
Yeah, well, that's it.
anti-fly tipping signs you see, the more fly tipping there seems to be, either right next to the signs or just around the corner. Just look at some of these shots here. It's amazing to me that areas can be this messy and covering such a wide area. Although honestly, I'm starting to get used to it as I'm seeing it more and more across the UK. There are a couple of high-rise tower blocks here near to the main shopping district, which often creates an antisocial hotspot. Here's a look around the shopping area. It's quite a large district, which is typical within Asian communities. There's quite the mix of world food shops, takeaways, local businesses, and of course there are a few bookies.
Of course there is.
Walking around a couple of the housing estates, it was more of the same. There was loads of litter everywhere, more fly tipping. And although it's a pretty busy area and there weren't a lot of closed up shops or boarded up houses, it's obvious that the area is struggling. Browsing some recent headlines, it's a reminder of just how dangerous this area is. There are endless reports of violent incidents and serious assaults, with some pretty crazy stories like cars being attacked by groups of masked assailants, people fighting with machetes in the local park, stuff like that. Here is one of the knife amnesty bins we saw, set up by the James Brindley Foundation, which is a charity that was set up in memory of James, who was stabbed to death back in 2017. The West Midlands has a serious knife crime problem, one of the worst in the country, and it's skyrocketing year on year, so we can only hope that projects like this do help to reduce those numbers. The average house price across Calmore and Palfrey over the last year was around 181,000.
Oh.
And I'll leave it on that note. This was a look at two of the most dangerous areas in Walsall, which itself is one of the most dangerous towns in West Midlands. I'd love to hear from anyone who lives or has lived in these areas. Thanks for tuning in.
See, that's not that far from where Declan lives.
No, it's probably about a 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like that where he is.
Some parts where Declan is can be a little bit.
Yeah, but where he actually lives.
Where he lives is nice. Yeah. It's but that is a shithole.
Yeah.
It's appalling.
Yeah.
Don't know. I've been to Walsall a few times to the football stadium there. We drive through Walsall.
Yeah.
But I've never seen them places. I know a couple of the places.
Yeah.
But it's not somewhere we would drive through. It's not on the way.
But it's like when he said that some woman came out and on the phone, like they're looking for trouble.
Yeah, they are, and it's what about what all they want in places like this in the UK is what about me?
Yeah.
What's in it for me? Where can I get money from you for not doing shit?
Yeah.
I don't want to do nothing in life. I don't want to work. I don't even want to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
And when they do get out of bed, they go to the shop or to the store dressed in the dressing gown and the slippers and all that. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
have a bit of pride, yeah. and there's just no pride, and it's gone with a lot of stuff with Britain. Our culture's gone.
Yeah.
Don't know what it used to be. It's disappearing fast.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because we do have a good culture.
Yeah.
Don't know, we have a real good ethic and a real good value towards life.
Yeah.
But this is when I see things like that, I'm just thinking, just bulldoze it.
Yeah.
Just flatten it and move them out somewhere.
Yeah.
Move them somewhere different. Split them all up to different areas and move them all out.
Yeah.
But that's just it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it
is what it is.
embarrassing.
It's embarrassing to be a part of that.
Yeah.
No, it's not our area.
No.
Don't know, we can't brush under the carpet. I get that, but it's not our area.
No.
And they need to sort it out.
It's just sad for the little kids that are all...
Yeah, they're going to grow up in that, and they're going to turn into that, and their kids are going to get worse, and their kids are going to get worse. It's just a never-ending, problem which is just coming about. Well, shithole. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. A little insight into the shithole of the UK, which is the Black Country. All of it. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Cheers.